Hello, how's it going out there? So here's the deal. When I read passages out of the Bible, sometimes, I get into some thoughts, however the day went for me, and I just have to read to myself. So yes, I said I was going to, go ahead and read passage by passage all the way, but sometimes you just get compelled and you just have to read, and therefore I don't really want to record because it could be a specific time. Like, for instance, a couple nights ago, I just had a lot of thinking going on, and I just, the day was kind of coming against me. No. I just needed to relieve and read a little bit ahead, and that's what I feel I have to do. I don't think I can just, every day record something of every passage, because whatever how the day entails, whatever goes on in my life, I've always, and I have done this so far, is I've just kind of just read ahead and just read at my willing, and not when the video is recording. So, it's just what it is. But I got to Job complains of violence on earth. In the past passages, I really liked how I mentioned about God walking on the dome. The dome, right? Three heavens, But you really do your research and you really delve yourself, to what this world really is. You kind of you read, and you just there's so many different opinions. But yeah, there's a dome, firmament, and all that, three heavens. I'm not going into this. That you're gonna have to do the research yourself. It really humbles you to really appreciate when you knew it before there was a God in Jesus. It really humbles your character, and really comes to an appreciation of the different people you interact with, and how you really do see the wicked for who they are, and you really start to know and notice how life is going, and this path of what you're supposed to do. And believing is everything, and repenting is everything. And when you thoroughly research articles, when you go, what I'm saying, all you can really say to one's argument or whatever, the conversation is read the Bible in all reality. Because when you understand how the world is, how it works with corporations to banks to everything, reserves and all that crap, and then you understand the principalities of it, and the spiritual, and who, and one's integrity, and one's, and how they think of how life is and all that, it's really humbling. And all you can really honestly say, and what I've come to the point in my life, is read the Bible, and make sure you're positive in people's lives and really making an impact on people, because there's a lot of people that are lost, and and there's so much jargon out there, and you just have to be audacious sometimes and just go for it and understand who you are. And when you know who you are and you understand who God and Jesus are and what they have done, and how it's back in the day has led all the way to now, you really have an appreciation to just go out and be positive with people, uplift their spirits, and really be a counselor per se to people who are down and out and don't know where life's going to take them. I feel all the crap that happens in one's life that's really negative and really plays an impact. It's all on the mind. You know what? It's all about making that strength, and God and Jesus will bolster that for you when you understand them. So, anyways, it's all about just uplifting people, and just really trying to talk to people. And you know what? You can't force religion. You can't force anyone to go to rehab. You can't force anything on people. You can't force anyone to read. You can't force anything. They have to do it. But at least if your words are saying something, it'll resonate in their mind, and that's all that matters. Be who you are. So, anyways, Job complains violence on earth. Why are times not kept by the Almighty? And why do those who know him never see his days? The wicked remove landmarks, they seize flocks and pasture them. They drive away the donkey of the orphan. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They thrust the needy off the road. The poor of the earth all hide themselves. Like wild asses in the desert, they go out to their toil. Scavenging in the wasteland, food for their young, they reap in a field not their own, and they glean in the vineyard of the wicked. They lie all night naked, without clothing. They have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the rain of the mountains, and cling to the rock for want of shelter. There are those who snatch the orphan child from the breast, and take as a pledge the infant of the poor. They go about naked without clothing. Though hungry, they carry the sheaves. Between their terraces, they press out oil. They tread the wine presses, but suffer thirst. From the city, the dying groan, and the throat of the wounded cries for help. Yet God pays no attention to their prayer. False, he does. Listen, there's too many people. 7.5 billion on the earth? Too many darn people on this earth. And he's one. Just doing his thing. Like I read, walking around the dome. That's kind of fun. He's looking after everyone. It's like I stated before, and I have a book that I write in. And I wrote one last year. I finished it. It was awesome. I haven't published it. It's my personal book. And I'm on another one. So I write all these, things that come to my mind. I just put it down. And, the swirl around the head is, you know what I'm saying? And God is just swirling around every individual's heads of this earth. You know what I'm saying? And you can go metaphorically with that. But he sees everyone. He sees everyone. He knows everyone. The thing he can't do is mix with your choices. He can only set those paths and guidelines for you. You have to make the choice, inevitably. But he can have an influence, and he always has an influence on that. Yet God pays no attention to their prayer. Yeah, he does. He really does. You just have to believe. You have to believe in time, because Einstein said if it wasn't for time, everything would happen all at once, okay? In time, it's going to get answered. Something is going to happen in your life because you can't see it right now. It's going to happen for the better. You just have to know what to look for, what not to pay attention to. Well, you got to pay attention to everything, but what not to go after for wickedness, But he sees everything. He answers everything. It's what it is. There are those who rebel against the light. Believe me, there's too many. Who are not acquainted with its ways and do not stay in its paths. The murderers rise at dusk to kill the poor and needy. In the night is like a thief. The eye of the adulterer also waits for the twilight, saying, "No eye will see me," and he disguises his face. In the dark they dig through houses. By day they shut themselves up. It's kind of funny how, now it's getting riskier. People are coming out in the daytime doing mischievous stuff. It's really ridiculous. Like they don't care anymore. And as the years go by, the wickedness is just prevailing even more, and they're just drop their veils. You can totally see within symbolism. You could totally see in every freaking corner that you turn north, south, east, and west. Okay, it's everywhere. It's amazing. Nothing is hidden, right? Nothing is hidden anymore. It's all coming to light. They do not know the light, for deep darkness is morning to all of them, for they are friends with the terrors of deep darkness. Because they think, they could sell their soul to Satan and all this crap, just to get ahead in life, when they're really not okay, you have some lavish things, good for you. You're awesome, man. But what are you doing to get those things? Are you helping people? Are you giving back? anyways, too much greed, too much devious acts. Swift are they on the face of the waters. Swift is like the fastest bird on earth, which is kind of fun. Their portion in the land is cursed. No treader turns toward their vineyards. Drought and heat snatch away the snow waters. So to Sheol those who have sinned. The womb forgets them. The worm finds them sweet. They are no longer remembered. So wickedness is broken like a tree. They harm the childless woman and do no good to the widow. Yet God prolongs the life of the mighty by his power. They rise up when they despair of life. He gives them security and they are supported. His eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted a little while and then are gone. They wither and fade like the mallow. See, they rise up. See right there. Look. He gives them security and they are supported. They are exalted a little while and then are gone. They wither and fade like the mallow. They are cut off like the heads of grain. If it is not so, who will prove me a liar and show that there is nothing in what I say? I mean, God does that for reasons. He exalts that evil up just for a little bit so people can see. And if they can't see it, and they look away, or they're looking at it and like, wow, I want to be like that, just to get a quick buck. When you're low, there's always avenues. There's always something to find a way to make things better. You don't have to resort to murdering, to robbing someone. You don't have to resort to all that. There's always ways. Your mind just has to find it. You have to be the driver in your mind along with God and Jesus. Picture God as a passenger in your mind, okay? And Jesus in the back seat. Just, come on, man, go this way, go this way, go this way. You have to go it. You have to do it. So when he exalts the evil, just for the while then, are gone, you got to see that this isn't the way. There's other ways, right? So I guess I'll just go ahead and where Bildad speaks. How can a mortal be righteous before God? So then Bildad the Shuhite answered, dominion and fear are with God. He makes peace in his high heaven. Is there any numbers to his armies? Upon whom does his light not arise? How then can a mortal be righteous before God? How can one born of a woman be pure? If even the moon is not bright and the stars are not pure in his sight, how much less a mortal who is a maggot and a human being who is a worm? Listen, you're born once, that's it. That's all it is. You're born once. It's it. Right? Then you go along the path of life, right? But there's such thing, okay, you get immersed in water, which is fine. I was immersed 2007, okay, for the first time in my life. And I fell into a deep depression. I mean, the darkest depression. It was 2007 was uplifting because I got baptized on the Pentecost at my church up north, but fortunately, it was cool to get baptized on the Pentecost, but I fell into the deepest depression. I mean, I didn't want anything. The technology I could really care less about, but I'll tell you what, it really excels if you want to do something positive with it. But anyways, the phone was dismissive. I was like, nope. My girlfriend at the time, I was like, nope. I really just was very reclusive. And let me tell you something. I always knew God and Jesus were there. I never, ever blasphemed against it. Oh, this is your fault for making me depressed. This is your fault for not making me be. Why am I not uplifting how I was before? How did I lose all my energy of being of just wanting to do things? Why did this dark depression just fall over me? And I really think it was a test. I think it was because I got baptized and Satan was like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to make you turn. Because maybe you've always known as a kid, and now you're finally getting baptized in an older age, but I'm going to turn you. And he tried everything. Let me tell you, the whole year 2007 was rough for me, half the year. Very rough. 2008, I started to get out of it. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing, but it took me to move 1,100 miles away south to feel better, I guess, and to really get a new appreciation. I just had to get out of my location, apparently, to start over, right? But literally, it wasn't until last year until I really fell into a deep low And I mean, from the car getting lost, all this, I'm not going into it, but everything kind of happened. And I'm like, man, this is bad. And I had to wait out the whole year for this year, 2017. It's been really good for me now, and finally getting the path lined up and getting it going. Charging hard is what I have to do, but I've really had to charge hard the whole entire year to make up, per se, for last year. But last year was pretty rough. But I'll tell you what, the value of being down is the best thing in life. You have to be so low to climb yourself up. And I don't care, because other people might deal with play differently. They might be like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. This is too much. But me, I find a gratitude for it. I love it, because I always know, because even as a kid, even growing up, even being baptized, even being depressed and all that stuff, okay, I always knew that God and Jesus were there. I always looked up and never lost my faith. Ever have I never, ever in my whole life have lost my faith. And I've been down to the low. And I don't care, because I know I can defeat it. Because I tell my mind, I know I can defeat this. This is nothing. To where other people might not look at it that way. They might be like, oh my gosh, whoa, this is crazy. I can't handle it. But you can handle it. You just have to know how to handle it and tackle it. And it wasn't until last year till I really delved into a lot of research. I've been to college and all that, but I like to read a lot, and I've really delved into a lot of research. And I want to say, I'm going to say, I was born again. I really was. Like I said, never lost my faith. Never lost it. But I knew last year when I was writing in this book that I finished, of all these thoughts, of all I guess like end time stuff, the calamities and all that. I guess coming out of that, I really, really was, and I could say, born again. So you're born twice, You can get immersed in water, but you had to be born in the flesh. And I wasn't in 2007. I was last year. And it just made me appreciate my faith a little bit better. Because you can't have one foot doing evil, one foot doing good. You have to be all into the good. Otherwise, it's not going to work when you're getting older. And that's what you got to find in life. The good Lord God, Jesus Christ.